thank you for listening to the Discussta podcast. This is a podcast that is a part of the ComCat series here at Augusta University with the Com 3040 course. Today we have me, Brandon Barton.
Nick Walbert.
And we have our producer, Tristan Lacey, and our editor, Andrew Chalker. Today we are joined by Juliana McGahee of the Communication Department. Thank you for joining us today, Juliana.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. This is a dream come true, actually.
Yeah.
I'm so honored.
Yeah, we've heard that you are a big deal on campus, and I think that this might be the most anticipated episode.
Wow.
Big person on campus and a big news in the communication department. Wow, that was really bad.
Wow, I'm so flattered though.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So to start off, are you from Augusta?
I am from Augusta. So I've grown up in Evans, Georgia, went to Evans Elementary School, Evans Middle, Evans High School. And so I'm not as well versed within the Augusta area since coming to AU. I've learned a lot more, but I will say I have grown up in the area and am familiar with it as a whole.
Nice.
So she's a local.
Local.
Yeah, feeling like a local. Yeah, I kind of know the ways. I've honestly, living in Evans, there's just so many shopping centers and restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really ventured out to Augusta until college, because my college is literally in Augusta. So since coming here, I've been oh my gosh, this restaurant's down here and this place is down here. So I feel like I've known of Augusta and I've been to Augusta, but it was a special occasion thing. We're going to go out to a nice dinner in Augusta. We would never just go casually. So I feel like being in college here, I've started to get to know it a little more and be kind of exploring a little more, even though I guess I'm kind of considered a local.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Augusta's known for Olive Garden. So that's definitely the spot over here for sure.
Is it really?
No, I don't think so. I think it's
I was about to say
that Masters thing that they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
But how long of a commute is that? You live in Augusta or Evans still?
Yes, I still live in Evans. I would say 23 minutes. I would say
that's specific.
It's very specific.
Down to the T's.
I'm always afraid I'm gonna get to class late, so I know exactly how to get to school, but I still put in my GPS anyways because it'll tell you the exact time of arrival.
Okay, yeah.
And so I'm looking at that every day. I'd say 20. I would say if there's zero traffic at all, it would be maybe 18 minutes, but on a normal day, 23. On a bad day, 27.
Do you have to take Washington Road to get here?
I do.
Oof.
I don't have to. I've actually chosen to. I used to take
Wheeler.
Very bold.
I used to take Wheeler. And I'm not sure what happened with that, but eventually I got very tired of, that's what it was. It was North Bel Air Road. The light is extremely short, and also accidents happen all the time. And so I would find myself I wouldn't be late because I leave my house obnoxiously early, but I'd find myself cutting it extremely close. And so I was I can't do it. I'm waiting at this light. It's the anticipation's too high. And so I started taking Washington Road, even though everyone advised against it. But I've learned to love Washington Road. I actually really I'll take Washington Road anyway, anywhere.
When I lived at my old apartment, that was the same case. Everyone was avoid Washington Road at all costs. But when you're driving to school in the morning, it's not that bad.
Not at all.
Now that I don't really live off of Washington anymore. I have to take Wheeler down to Walton Lake Extension, and there's a million stoplights.
Exactly.
Traffic is horrible in the morning. You don't know if one line's going to be backed up or not. So it's those down to those last few minutes where it's
exactly.
I'm stressed out now. I'm gonna be late to class.
No, because then it's the commute down Walton Way, extension and everything. I feel like I'm sprinting down there, especially you see the minutes going by and you're on the skinny little road, and it gets too intense. So Washington Road, gotta love it.
It's rough. I'm still somewhat afraid of Washington Road every now and then. But that's the only other place where they got Outback. So, you got to make sacrifices.
Not the Outback.
Going back to food. So,
that's hilarious.
So you grew up in the Evans area, and of course that's a little bit
Yes.
closer to Augusta. So
Yes.
what made you choose Augusta University?
That's actually a really interesting question. I was a junior in high school when COVID hit, and one thing about me is I hate change. I am a huge anti-change person. I know it's inevitable. I know it happens, but when it comes, I'm not excited. I'm not happy. And so with COVID happening, that was a very unexpected change. I did not expect to be sent home. I didn't expect to not see my friends. And so that itself was a change. And then the entirety of senior year was probably the weirdest year of my life. my school specifically did this like A-B schedule. So it was like only half of the students would come to school on certain days.
Okay, wow.
My literature class, there was 4 of us, 4 students.
Wow.
And that was my year.
That would,
4 students.
That must have been awkward though.
Honestly, all 4 of us like actually really liked each other and got along. I also love literature, and it's such like discussion based. I honestly would give credit to that class to leading me to communication and like where I am right now. But honestly, it wasn't that bad. It was just so weird, like growing up in classes of 20 to 30 students
people,
to having 4 students. And like I said, I loved the class, I loved the teacher, and I loved my classmates. So it wasn't like negative, but it was just so like
it was a huge change.
It was a huge change, and it was so weird not seeing like my friends. Like I think I was B and all my friends were A because they did it by last name. So like all of my friends, I was not seeing them like at all. And so like that was just a huge adjustment. And so then like, you know, come near the end of senior year, it's like, you know, you got to figure out where you got to go to college. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I still like am trying to process like COVID even happened. My senior year's over, and so I was deciding between Georgia Southern and Augusta University, and like solely the difference was one, I would be going like away for school, and like one, I would be like staying home and commuting. And I felt like I was like, you know what, I cannot handle change. Like I need the smoothest, like more gentle transition to college as possible. And I was like, you know what, I'll choose AU. If I get there and I dislike commuting and I don't like it, I'll just transfer. Like, it's possible to transfer. On the other hand, like, if I went to Georgia Southern and was like, I don't like it, like, having to move back home, do all those things, like, the housing fees, like, all of that would have been so complicated to, like, reverse or, like, redo. And so, like, I was like, you know what, I'll go to AU. And so that's what kind of made me choose it. It was just the most, like, smooth transition. I felt like I wasn't ready for college. I was like, oh my gosh, like I didn't even really get like a real last like hurrah of high school. Like none of it was like, you know, like I didn't see my friends. Like people had to wear like a mask everywhere. Like I couldn't interact with people the way I did. My prom was on the football field.
Oh, wow.
My first prom was canceled and my second prom was, on the football field. We had like a tent over us. Wow. They did their best. I will say they did their best. It was not necessarily my cup of tea, but they did their best with what they had. So I respect it.
What was the theme for it?
You know, it's hilarious. I could not tell you whatsoever. I have no idea what the theme was.
I couldn't tell you what mine were either.
Probably like Super Bowl or something like that.
That would have.
I imagine.
We all just come in like jerseys. It should have been that. We should have done a play. I honestly, a part of me wants to say Great Gatsby, but at the same time, I want to say that was another year's theme. I feel like that wasn't our theme. But I just wanted a smooth transition, and I figured starting from home and going somewhere is easier than going somewhere and coming back home. At least for me, I feel like it was just a personal choice. But I ended up coming here and literally like falling in love with like the campus, like the students, professors, environment. Like I just absolutely like, I could not imagine myself at like any other college. So I'm really grateful. Like this is what I chose, and this is where it's led me. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. You want to go first?
There you go.
I feel like it's definitely a safe bet because, like what you said, with like if you went to Georgia Southern, you'd have to stick it out for a whole year if you hated it because you sign a contract for a whole year, and if you got to pay like the fee if you want to move out early. So definitely going with Augusta was a safe choice.
Yeah.
I did the opposite. I had the choice of commuting from Georgia Southern or going to Augusta, but I was like, I need a little change in my life, so. Here I am. And
now you're here. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, well, it's crazy that you mentioned that and talk a little bit about your story of how you got here, because I was very similar in the same way of like when it comes time for change, and it's kind of scary once you're doing it, even before doing it, but once you're doing it, it can feel scary as well. Yeah. And that happened to me at USC Aiken, and I was there. I was a proud pacer for about 2 weeks, and then I dropped out. Just because I wasn't ready for college yet. Yeah. But just over time, I was able to meet a lot of people through different like organizations in the Augusta area at Augusta University, and I was able to be plugged in through here, and even in the communication department, like you, I'm in there, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. It's been really fun, and I've been able to get a lot of skills out of this. But it's really interesting to see how similar of paths we both have.
Yeah.
So when it comes to Augusta University and the communication major, what made you land on that? What made it stick out above kinesiology and all these other crazy majors that
Sumalek.
Yeah.
I'll talk you guys through my entire decision making. So, growing up, like, honestly, since kindergarten, like, I knew I was going to be a teacher. Like, that was the dream. That was the plan. For career day, I showed up in, like, a little skirt, like, a little apple in hand.
Yes.
Like, I was going to be a teacher. I knew
Miss
it.
Frizzle.
Yeah, I guess that was going to be me. People in my, multiple members of my family, like, had been teachers. And so, like, not only was it something like within the family, but it was just something like I had like a heart and passion for. I was like, and also like I grew up in the church, and like I also helped with like Sunday school, vacation Bible school. And so like just always being around children and like leading and teaching them, I like loved it. And so I always knew like that was the path I was going to take. And so, you know, I get to college, I declare my major, elementary education, and I think just for me, like, the classes just weren't for me. Like, I was just getting in there, and, like, I love, like, leading children and, like, teaching children. But I think, like, I don't know, there was just something that I knew, like, this wasn't the right fit for me. Like, I knew, like, this is not where I'm supposed to be. And I didn't know, like, exactly why or what it was, but, like, I felt it, like, just, like, a gut feeling or, like, intuition. I was like, this isn't where, like, I'm supposed to be. And so I took a few classes in that and realized, you know, this isn't where I'm supposed to be, like, somewhere else, like, that's where, like, my passion and, like, my talents and skills are going to be better used. And so, because since I was, like, 5 and I wanted to be a teacher, and now I was, like, 18, 19, and completely realized that's not what I wanted to do, I did panic, and I was like, oh my God, change. I was like, oh my gosh, like, I have to make a decision. And I thought to myself, I like science. Science is fun.
She's a science girl.
Let me become a cellular molecular biology major.
Wow, you picked the toughest one, probably.
Probably the toughest major. Solely, I just love biology. Like, in high school, even in college, like, I love biology. I think it's so interesting. And, like, I also just think, like, people who do research, like, they're doing such incredible things. Like, whether or not, like, you are, like, directly treating people or indirectly treating people, like, through research, like, to be able to dedicate your life to, like, finding cures and, like, helping people, and, like, I just think it's such a beautiful and great thing. And so I was like, I've always wanted to help people. That's, like, why I wanted to be a teacher, but, like, maybe I can do it through, like, research and, like, another route, because, like, I love school, I love academia, I love science. And so I went that route and quickly found out that that was still not my passion. It's just that kind of thing, like, if it was my passion, like, the classes are hard. I guess, like, that's just a blunt way to put it. They're very hard, very challenging.
But it's something you would have, like, enjoyed doing constantly.
Exactly. And so it's like, if that was my dream and passion, like, if I had gotten to that and I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life, like, I would have stuck it through. But I guess for me, this is just my personal opinion. I think it's a great major. There's so many people that love it. But me personally, I did not love it enough to put myself through all the hard work. I was like, it would not have been worth it to me in the end. And so after that, I was like, this was during the summer. I was taking summer classes, all science summer classes. And I was like, this is not it. Like, this is challenging. And even if I get my degree, I'm still not going to be like, oh, it was worth it. Like, I was just so, I was having a really hard time. And so I finished the classes and got good grades in them really gracefully. I had a great tutor who's incredible and got me through physics. And my physics professor is incredible too. But I panicked again for the third time. At this point, I'm drawing a blank. I'm like, that's it. I like science, and that's all I've got. Like, I don't know what else I'm good at, what else I want to do. And so this is all during the summer. So I'm bothering all these people on their summer break and stuff. But I ended up going to career services.
Okay.
And I sat down with someone, and I pretty much was just like, told him what I just told you guys. And I was like, I'm completely lost. I have no direction. And he made me take a few, like, little personality quizzes. Hilariously enough, they all told me to become a teacher. And I was like, okay, this isn't working. And so I went back to him and I was like, I took them. They told me to become a teacher. I know it's not for me. Like, what do I do now? And he pretty much was like, honestly, you can go to, like, Augusta University's, like, website. And honestly, if you want to, go to a coffee shop, go to the library, and just sit down and just scroll through every major and, like,
See which one sticks
if
out.
something sticks out to you and like the description, like honestly, go for it at this point. And I was like, I was desperate, and I was like, at that point, I had to do it. So I pulled up to Rooted Coffee Shop in Greenbrier.
Shouts out.
Shout out that literally their coffee is so good. Shameless plug. Go to Rooted. Their coffee is amazing.
Never been.
You should. So it is so good. Oh, and Trellis, of course, for Brandon.
I also haven't been there still.
Oh, shameless plug. Everyone go drink coffee.
Yes.
And so I was sitting in this like coffee house. I'm scrolling through majors, and so luckily communication starts with a C, so it was pretty like early on. And so I had clicked on it, and I was reading, and it was like in the description they have like all these little boxes of like stuff they offer, because it's so like it's a diverse major, you can do so much with it. And it was like journalism, public relations, and nonprofit work, human resources, photojournalism, podcasting, videography, news. And like growing up, like I've always loved writing. That's always been a passion of mine. Like I love writing. I love literature. Just like my English classes, like language arts classes, I've loved them. And so after seeing like, and I've also loved nonprofit work, my plan originally was to become a teacher. And when I retired, I was going to go into nonprofit work, just like, you know, give myself something to do something for the community. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh, that's actually so interesting. Like I kind of wanted to do nonprofit work like when I retired, but I could actually make that my own career. And like, I love journalism. I love writing. And so hilariously enough, this is such a full circle moment. I reached out to like the communication like email, and I was like, hey, like I'm a student. I'm actually considering like changing my major. Can someone like tell me more about the major? And a professor, Dr. Carrie Reif-Stice, met with me on a Zoom call. And I like didn't even realize this was her until like a year later, but she met with me and like explained it to me. And after that conversation with her, like I was set. I was like, you know what? Like I have nothing to lose. Like if it's not this, I don't know what it is. Like I'm just going to start trying out literally every major at AU at this point. And so I tried it out and cannot even begin to tell you both like how much I fell in love with like this major. Like there's a lot of things in life I'm certain about, but like this is one of the things like I'm 100% certain like this is where I'm supposed to be. Yeah. Like I've loved every single class I've taken, even like the more challenging ones. Like I have such a passion for what I do. And like unlike with like Cell and Malek, like no matter what hard class or internship or assignment or project like or speech, anything I have to do is like going to be worth it in the end. Like I love this major. I love everything about it. I just feel like the second I got here, the first few classes like I took in communication, I was like, this is where I've been like supposed to be. Yeah. Like this makes sense. And so I've not looked back once. I absolutely love it here.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So not only are you a part of the communication major, but you also help run the social media page, right?
Yes.
So what is that like, and is it busy?
It's been so great. Like I said earlier, I love the major as it is, and I love just being a part of it. And so with social media, one of my best friends, Timberly Fernandez, and I, we went to talk to Dr. Carrie Reif-Stice.
Good old Tim Tim.
I love her so much. And we pretty much were just like, we had noticed something like within the department, not that it's like a fault, like it happens, but we were like, as a communication department, like we're so about like communication, community, speaking, like just engagement. And we were like, we're just not as engaging as we can be. Like we can do more things, we can have more events. And so after that conversation, a little conversation about, you know, let's make things more engaging. We both ended up running the social media for the communication department. It's been so great. It's not horribly busy, but it keeps us busy like in a good way. Like it makes sure like for me, it keeps me accountable to make sure like I'm involved. I know what's going on in my major, and like it also helps me know things about like that I might not know. Like for instance, I think we have one student. Her name I want to say is Hannah Brown Kitchens. She wrote like a children's book and like had it published. And like I don't have classes with this student, so like I would have never known. But like through running social media and like getting emails and like being sent things, like I'm able to know like there are so many incredible things that like all the students within our department are doing, and sometimes like we just don't know about them. And so it's been like such a great outlet to like learn more of like what our students are doing. And so it's been so great. I also love just like being able just to be a part of something like greater and like more, and really
more
be
than
able
yourself.
to more than myself, and just like really pour myself into this major. Like I said, I love the communication department. It's completely changed my life. It's given me opportunities I never thought I would have. And so, yeah, it's just been incredible. And so running the social media has been a blast, and I've enjoyed it.
You need to be the spokesperson for the communication department.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, you're just the face of it.
Yeah, you're making me want to buy in more, even though.
You should. I'm all here for it.
He said, I want to be a communication major, even though I'm already a communication major.
That's true. How do I double down on that?
I say maybe you start running the social media department. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm about to switch back to flip phones, so we'll see how that goes.
Wow, exciting.
Wow.
Yeah, we're bringing them back.
No.
So outside of social media and being very bigly involved in the communication major and in the department, is there any other clubs or anything that you're involved in?
I will say one club, and both of you know about this one, Campus Outreach.
Campus Outreach, what is that?
Campus Outreach, it's an on-campus organization, faith-based, more so Christianity, and it's really just bringing people in, just like everyone. It's like an organization mainly like, you don't necessarily like have to be a Christian to join. Like it's mainly like we want everyone to be there. Like we're reaching out to like all sorts of people, all different backgrounds, all different lifestyles. Like that's just the beauty of it. And it's just like a great place to like come together in community and have people who like love and support you like through Christ. And like I feel like not to get on a little tangent, but like being a Christ follower and being a Christian, there is really nothing like his love. And so like being able to give that to other people who may not even know about it and have experienced it is just like such a beautiful blessing. And I've met some of my best friends. Campus Outreach, the communication department, literally like AU itself has like changed my life. And so being a part of this organization, I would not know Brandon here or Nick here without this organization. So shout out to you too. It's just a great organization. Really just also it's such a great foundation to be able to come back. We have weekly meetings. At least as of right now, every Tuesday night, 7:30 p.m. And it's such a great foundation, like, to be able to go, like, weekly and see these people who love you so much and be able to, like, to just hear the word of the Lord and be like, you know what, like, even when times are hard, even when I feel like college is crushing me, the stress of exams, tests, projects, papers, like, there is someone and something to rely on and fall back on. And so it's just been a great blessing, and I've just absolutely loved the organization. And so they've kept me busy between meetings, outside things, retreats, trips.
It's a lot.
D groups. Yes, 7 a.m. on Fridays was mine. I was waking up at like 5:30 a.m. because I've got my infamous commute. So
yeah.
But it's been
it's crazy. Yeah, they got us out there with the monks at 6:50 in the morning. So it's tough.
The monks is crazy.
It's crazy.
Wild thing to say.
That's what they do. Wake up early in the morning and we're praying, son.
You tell him, Brandon. You tell him.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
I actually do remember when I was a freshman, we used to do prayer in the morning. Now it's before the meetings at 7.
Yeah.
It used to be at 7 a.m. in Washington Hall.
No way.
Not the ballroom, geez.
Was it that
dome?
the sky room thing, yeah.
And I managed to only go twice because I am not a morning person. I am not an early riser. And the 2 times I went, it was great.
That's hilarious.
It's rough out here. They say the early bird gets the worm, but
I am not getting the worm then.
I say I don't think we're getting the worm. I don't know where the worms are, but they're not coming to us.
They're not coming my way. So moving on a little bit, what do you hope to achieve here at AU before your time is up?
Oh my gosh, what a great question. I think one thing, I'm always going back, I guess just because it's my major and it's like means so much to me. I think personally, I want to leave the communication department better than I found it. Like,
Okay.
And that's a huge thing, like being a part of social media, like not only have like Timberly and I been able to like run social media, but like in All Good Hall, like, we're redoing the communication bulletin boards. We're changing the colors. We're trying to make them stand out more, draw more attention. We're also, like, hosting, like, little Take a Break Thursday events in, like, the comm office where, like, we have professors and food and students, and we all talk and get to know each other. And, like, I have been so blessed and so fortunate. Like, I've actually been able to have an impact, and, like, I've been able to see my impact just within, like, the students I've met, the professors I've met. I'm in the honors program, and I'm writing my honors thesis along with Dr. Walker, Dr. Hayward, and Dr. Cox. 2 of those are in the communication department. And so getting to know those 2 individuals more has also been such a blessing. And so I think I mainly just want to leave it better than I found it. I love this department. It's given me so much. It's like really planted like a seed of like just pure drive and passion for something I love, and I could literally talk about it all day. And so I want to be able to leave here and like kind of have it still like I feel like my passion's like on fire for this department, and so I want to leave it still being on fire. Like I want students to be involved. I still want these events to be happening. I want it to be like a community where all the majors know each other. You know, like I don't want it to be this like separated thing where like, you know, only a few students talk in classes. Like I want just the department itself. Like we're a smaller department, you know, we're not huge. I think there's like 100 of us, which like is a pretty large number, but in the grand scheme of things, not as much. And like I really want it to be like a large family, especially considering our major is communication. Like we're so built on like talking to each other and networking and community. I just really do want to leave it better than I found it, and really have a good foundation just moving forward for professors, students, and everyone.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
That's honestly beautiful.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
I think it's great that you want to not only just like feel like you've been adopted into the communication department after like finally figuring out, but then also realizing I want to leave it better than I found it. I want to make this more than just like me as a person. Like I want to think about everybody, professors, staff, students. Like I think it's amazing that you want to do all that.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to encourage you and Timberly, you guys have been doing an incredible job.
Thank
it's like,
you.
I've been here for 3 years, and I feel like I'm just now being able to see all the stuff that's going on in communication. I feel like that's majorly a part of you guys and what you guys are doing. And yes, of course, you know, facing change is scary, but when you're able to create change the way that you guys are doing, it leads to an even bigger impact.
Yeah.
That's so kind.
Which is incredible.
I appreciate y'all's words. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we wrap up, is there any last minute comm events that are going on before the semester's over or anything?
Boy, it's
over
final
the
season.
Yeah,
I will have to say I do think we're over. I will do another kind of plug. I think about 2 weeks ago, we had Communicon. That's like
right.
our annual communication event. I actually I'm like plugging everything. I was in the class this semester. So like there's a class, it's called Campaigns. I think it's COM 4320. And it's only offered in the spring semester, and the entire class is devoted to planning Communicon. Like that's the class, and it's also with Dr. Carrie Rife-Stice. She's like my mentor for literally everything. She's gotten me in this major. She's got me through this major. Huge shout out to her. She's an incredible woman, an incredible professor. I would not be where I am in this major if it wasn't for her. But for that class, the entire thing was just devoted to planning this event. And like in the end of it, like I feel like I can be a tough critic on myself a lot of times, but like with that event in particular, like that's one example. Like I can look at that event and be like, wow, like I'm actually so proud of that. Like I loved my classmates. At the end, like we really did become a family. This past Friday, we had like a little pool party to like commemorate and like celebrate it.
Wow.
And like they're all such a great, kind, talented individuals, fun, you know, spirited. And so like that was a huge thing. Every single spring and around April, there's going to be Communicon. Just happened this year. It's going to happen next year. Same exact thing. And so I would just suggest if you're a communication major, even if you're not a communication major, come out to Communicon every year that we have it. It's such a fun, great event. You just get to learn more about the major. You'll most likely get free food, be able to play games and stuff. And if you are a communication major, I think just keep your eye out on socials, posters around school. We really are trying to like engage our students and really like build a tight-knit community within the major. And so I think just keeping your eyes posted around like what's happening and being sure to come to things and come to events when they're happening. And yeah, just college is what you make it. I think anything in life is what you make it. And so like if you put yourself out there, make yourself involved, meet people, cultivate change, I really think like you're gonna leave college with like a life-changing, beautiful experience. And that wasn't something I knew until like it was happening to me. And I was like, wow, like if you told me freshman year like this would be my life, I would not believe you. And like I could not be more like grateful and thankful and just happy that like this is where I've landed myself.
That's awesome. Well, since you have been mentioning it, kind of wrapping things up, would you like to give another plug out to the comm department social medias? Yes,
100%. So first I'll start with Instagram. So if you want to follow us on Instagram, it would be AUG_COMMDEPT. So like AUG comm like department, but like short for that. We also have a Facebook. You would just look up, I want to say like Augusta University Communication Department. And those two are the main social medias we're using. I want to say we have a YouTube. Timberly and I are not personally posting on the YouTube, but we do have a YouTube. I would say it's the same thing, probably like Augusta University Department of Communication. I don't know if y'all know better.
It is.
It is that?
That's where all of our podcasts get posted too.
OMG, yeah. No way. Yeah, okay, yeah, y'all got to plug that then.
Yeah.
Do y'all also do Spotify or just YouTube?
I think right now for this class specifically, we only do YouTube.
YouTube? Okay.
But it also would be a great plug for the comm department YouTube channel, because anybody who's wondering if they want to switch their major or they want to minor in communications or communication, there's a difference.
Tell them, Nick.
If you want to, there's a lot of content on there from different classes that we do. So if you want to check out what the communication department is about, totally check it out.
Exactly. Got a plug. And honestly, I think last but not least, just like the website. That's literally like what changed my life, was simply going on the website, clicking through things, seeing what we offer. So just feel free to go on the website, kind of scroll through, see what we offer. Communication is literally like, I feel like I sound like a broken record, but it really is such a diverse major. Like you can genuinely do anything. Like I have one friend going into like a kind of video production, editing, another friend going into like public relations. I'm personally wanting to go into like health communication. And so like there are so many different things. What are you two looking to go into with this?
So I'm actually nursing major. If I get into the nursing program, that is. If not, I will also be doing health communication. So after nursing, once I apply, I've already applied. I'm just waiting to hear back. But I'm hoping in the future to do like health communication still evolve, like after I've retired from nursing, or to do nonprofit.
Yeah. What about you?
So I'm hoping to go on staff with campus outreach once I graduate at the end of December 25.
Very exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. Like you said, it's a great ministry, and I'm just hopeful and happy if they would have me.
Yeah, it's really exciting. Yeah, and I think that just goes to show within the major, I mean, you really can do anything that you set your heart to. You're not limited within, like, there really are no boundaries within the major. And so I think, like, you do the major, you do, you set your heart to it, you do your passion, and I think you find a way. And so I think that's just a great part. Like I said, I love this department. It's given me so much. It's changed my life. And I just want to do anything I can to give any amount of thanks back I can for just what it's given me.
That's awesome. Well, thank you.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for joining us today.
Of course.
This is great.
This was a fantastic episode.
Me.
I think we learned a lot.
Star.
Yeah,
y'all are so nice to me.
Yeah, we were really looking forward to this episode.
I was too.
Yeah. Well, thank you for joining us once again. This has been Discussta. I am Brandon.
And I am Nick.
And we are signing off. Thank you for listening to today's episode of Discussta. Discussta is produced by Tristan Lacey and is edited by Andrew Chalker. Discussta is a part of the Comcast podcast network at Augusta University. The ideas and opinions expressed during this podcast are those of students enrolled in COM 3340, podcasting and audio production, and do not reflect those of Augusta University.